The Cottonwood County Citizen proudly presents Athlete of the Week. Hy-Vee in Windham is your employee-owned grocery store, featuring the freshest produce and a full-service meat department. Visit our deli with hot, ready-to-eat entrees and daily lunch counter specials. Great selection, outstanding service, Hy-Vee of Windham, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. I am joined right now by Windham senior Aaden Nauman, our Athlete of the Week this week. Congratulations, Aaden.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Thursday's meet in Tracy, for an early season meet, that's a good test because a lot of section teams. It's a fairly challenging course. What was the strategy going into Thursday's meet?
I think just a lot like Mountain Lake, go out easy and then, try to finish good. Obviously, we're trying to get me and Thomas together, which I think as the season goes on, we'll get run the race together. But yeah, we just go out easy and then see what I had left in the tank.
Yeah, because that's one thing Coach Pletcher mentioned that you've really been working on to start the year, because last year it was a tendency to go out maybe a little too fast.
Right, yeah.
How difficult is it to change that mindset in as a runner?
I think because I've been running for 6 years, so it's just like a habit almost. But I think as it goes on, my times get better as I go out a little bit slower. So I think that's something I just dwell on. Is
it a case where you kind of pick out somebody to run with from the get-go? Not necessarily just Thomas, but maybe a guy on another team that it's this is my pace target for this first mile.
Right. I think earlier in the season I don't really do that. I just try to go out and run my race. But then as the season goes on and I see how consistent these guys are, then I start running with a guy or pick a guy and go with him.
You mentioned that you've been a 6-year runner in the cross country program. Obviously the times have dropped considerably over the last especially the last couple of years. But the end of last season had to have stung a little bit because you guys were really close to qualifying for state. How did you react to that, and how did that motivate you during the off season?
Yeah, it was a really heartbreaker. All these guys worked really hard, and we just fell a little bit short. But then off season, you got higher expectations. Qualifying times are gonna drop a lot from the last year, so you just gotta work really hard. And I think that's what a lot of our team did. We just got a lot of miles in and worked together.
Mm-hmm. Because you look at the makeup of Section 3, obviously you've got Laverne as a really strong team, but then you've got Redwood Valley that you got to contend with, and MCC that you got to contend with. Dawson Boyd obviously is, and the section meets on their course.
Right.
It's not going to be easy to advance as a team.
No.
How many miles did you put in this summer? What was the summer training? Take me through a typical summer training day for you.
I guess it just depended. I try to do at least 6 miles a day if it was an easy day, but I think I started around 40 miles a week and then worked my way up to 60 at my peak. So then it totaled around 400 miles.
Oh, wow. Okay. This season, though, is a little bit different because you're taking on double duty. I'll admit I was surprised to see you at football practice on the first day of practice. What prompted that decision, and how has it been to balance the two?
I think football is just it's always something I wanted to do. So it's my senior year. I just want to do it at least for 1 year. And balancing, I think it just all went back to the summer, just putting in the work during the summer, and then it kind of just plays out as the season comes.
Mm-hmm. To be frank, you haven't really been the biggest guy.
So
I imagine that's probably been reason number one why you
Right.
hadn't been out for football before.
Right.
But how have the football players embraced you, and how have the cross country guys reacted to having to share your time?
Football, they're really good. They were really welcoming as I come in, and then cross country, it was a couple of people were really skeptical about it, but I just like talk with them every day. You just got to keep a relationship with your team, so that's what I tried to do.
Mm-hmm. How has that impacted what your training during the season? Because I don't know what do you go on basically do your cross country work before school, or do you go to cross country practice for a bit and then go to football practice for a bit?
Yeah, so athletic director was able to get me like a schedule, and so I kind of balance it out. Like if we have a speed day for cross country, I'll normally go there, and then if it's like a harder impact day for football, I'll go there. But also, if I go to football practice and I do my cross country at night, or if I get up in the morning and do it that way.
But of course, the tricky thing is a lot of cross country meets are on Thursdays, the
Right.
day before game for football. So there's a fair amount of preparation that you miss the day before a game. How do you balance that?
A lot of it is like we just run through plays, so I just make sure I go on huddle, review all the plays, and watch a lot of film too.
But looking ahead, cross country wise, you've got the Eagle Invite next Monday, and I know that you guys always want to put on a good show for the home crowd.
Oh yeah.
What is the goal for the Eagle Invite? Because that's also one of the fastest courses that you guys run on in a year.
The goal is obviously to win it. We got some good teams. Mountain Lake, they've put together a really good team, and that's Lake Crystal is a team to watch as well. Probably in cross country, beating a green. It was I didn't in seventh grade. I didn't beat him at all, but really to beat Thomas Green or Jacob Green is it's just fun being a green. A lot of the latest hits, I really like Lil Baby. In cross country right now, probably Redwood and Laverne, really good top teams. Hardworking, dedicated, and funny, probably. Well, a lot of running, play with my dogs, and watch sports.
And of course, you're a senior this year. Have you started looking at the future at all?
Yeah, in between a few, I'm probably looking at Augustana, USF, and SMSU, but no decision yet. So.
Well, that should be all we need. Congratulations on a nice performance at Tracy, and best of luck the rest of the way. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Hy-Vee in Windham is your employee-owned grocery store, featuring the freshest produce and a full-service meat department. Visit our deli with hot, ready-to-eat entrees and daily lunch counter specials. Great selection, outstanding service, Hy-Vee of Windham, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle.